Hey. It's your girl. It's just Keisha, and this is Everything, Even the Kitchen Sink, where we are going to talk about everything under the sun. The good, the bad, the ugly, and we're even going to talk about the very ugly. Yes, the very ugly. First and foremost, I want to thank you all for listening. This is my very first podcast, and I must admit, your girl is a bit nervous. Well, not really, but this is my first podcast. So naturally, my stomach is turning inside and out. But anyway, quick introduction about myself before we get started into today's show. I am 33, Afro-American, so you're getting a little bit of black girl magic. Although I do categorize myself as a bad bitch. Insert wink. I am a mother of a teenage son and a young Afro-American queen, and I am in the automotive industry, which I love dearly, and we'll definitely dig into more of my family, my children, my occupation, and all that in later shows. I am an Aries, be the best, in my DJ Khaled voice. I love God, wholeheartedly, unconditionally, and I am a lover of all mankind. My heart is 3 sizes too big for life. So there you have it. The rundown of me, of who I am. And as always, questions, comments, and concerns are always welcome. I have an email address, and I'll be giving it out at the beginning, the middle, and the end of every show to make sure that you all have it. And please utilize this email, please. It is going to be EETKS89@gmail.com. Now that stands for Everything, Even the Kitchen Sink. And 89 is the year that I was born. I am an 80s baby. Although I was born, I barely made it. But shout out to my mom and dad for making sure that I was an 80s baby. But that is the email address where you can send all of your questions, all of your comments, and all of your concerns there, as well as topics that you would like to discuss. Because I'm an open book. I'm open to any and everything. So please don't be shy. This isn't my podcast. This is our podcast. So even topics and things that you all have, because I'm open, and I'll talk about anything. I'm the one that will discuss and talk about things that other people think about, but not sure how to say it. I'm going to talk about it. I am. So anyway, let's kick it off with an inspirational post. I will do that before every show. So it's called the inspirational post of the day. All right. So this is the post. Something special awaits you each day. All you need is to recognize it and make the most of it. Have a positive attitude throughout the day. And then that today is going to be the best day of your life. Oh my God. I love it. So here we go. Episode number 1 is titled Self-Love, Self-Care, Self-Motivation. What does it mean to you? This is actually a very, very important topic for me because I did not discover self-love until later on in my life. I was taught it as a kid, knew about it, heard about it, but once I actually found it, understood it, and applied it in my life, my life has never been the same since. So I Googled self-love, and I'm going to give you the Google self-definition. We'll start with that. Google says it actually gave me 2 different meanings. The first one says self-love is a state of appreciation for oneself that grows from actions that support our physical, psychological, and our spiritual growth. The second one says self-love means having a high regard for your own well-being and happiness. That's nice. Self-love means taking care of your own needs and not sacrificing your well-being to please others. So I'm going to branch off and say what this means to me. Self-love, self-care, self-whatever is so important, especially today with widespread social media. Yeah, social media can be a bit much. And the reason I say that is because everything now is measured by what we see online. Whether it is how we should look, what type of money we should be making in our profession, etc. Social media presence has become, sadly, the measuring tool to how we should see ourselves. Now, self-love to me means totally taking care of myself mentally. I think a lot of times we leave that part off, but I think that is very essential, and that's initially where it starts. Mentally taking care of yourself is so vital. Anybody can look the part, have the job, but what about your mind, your mental state, your mental well being? Your mind is such a strong weapon. Just think about it like this. And I'm going to make it as elementary as possible. So, your mind is your head, right? And your head has your brain, and your brain basically tells your body everything. I mean, absolutely everything. So, here's just a few examples. And again, it's elementary as I can possibly make it. When we itch, does our brain not tell us, hey, you're itching? There is an irritation to your skin. So come on, yep, let's do it. Raise your hand and scratch it. Am I right? Another example, when we are in traffic and we see cars ahead of us, does our brain not tell us to, hey, you, move your foot and apply it to the brake? Although sometimes it may be a slight delay, right? Those are just a couple examples of things that we may take for granted, but are very important, and why our brain is so important. Could you imagine itching and your brain not telling you to scratch it, and you just be itchy, just itching all? Oh my, that would aggravate me to death. Oh my God, it would. So back to what I was saying. I hope I didn't stray you all the way, but the brain, mental health, all of that is very important, very, very important. Now, me personally, I built up my mental strength in many different ways. For one, I have apps on my phone, and one of my favorites is called Motivation. And I use that even on here, on our podcast. How do y'all think y'all gonna get the positive quotes for today? I have it set up so it sends me 30 motivational and positive quotes a day. Yeah, 30. Just randomly. And I love it every single time they pop up. Absolutely love it. I also write down in my journal, I guess you can call it, how I feel, how I see myself, my manifestations. For example, I'll write down, Keisha, you are strong. And I'll repeat that 7 times. I'll write it down 7 times. Keisha, you are enough. And I'll repeat that 7 times and write it down 7 times. And so on and so forth. You have to kind of find your thing on how you can self-motivate. There goes that word self again. To make sure that you sustain self-love by improving your mental health and how you view you. That is like the number one thing in my opinion, when it comes to self-love. Next, we have self-care. And again, Google definition first, the practice of taking action to preserve or improve one's own health. That right there, that's it. That's it. This is something I have struggled with, honestly, especially when it comes to physical health, because for one, I am truly a junk food eater. Oh my God, I am. Although I have tried healthy alternatives that I would like to share, and maybe this can help someone listening like myself who has almost no self-control when it comes to food intake. So for breakfast, I absolutely love iced coffee. I love the whipped cream, the caramel drizzle, the crunchy cookies that you can get in it sometimes, etc. But now, instead, I order a sugar-free coffee. Sugar-free? Now, I must admit, it is not the tastiest in the world, but it is an iced coffee with no sugar. And isn't that healthy? Hmm, maybe so. Another, I guess, somewhat healthy alternative is whenever I eat a sandwich or a biscuit or anything with bread, I remove the bread and I will eat just the meat. Even if it has like cheese or onions or lettuce or anything, I will eat that with it, just not the bread. Lettuce wraps are good as well. I absolutely love those. I've eaten them several times. They are really, I don't eat them as often as I would like, but they are really good. Really, really good. Taking care of your body is the ultimate self-care. Face scrubs, waxes, detoxes, all of that is essential and a part of self-care as well. One of my personal favorites is getting a massage. I don't know if you've ever had a massage, but if you haven't, let me tell you, you need to get one. So I typically go to the Grandover Hotel. It's in Greensboro, North Carolina. Not sure if you all have heard of it or how far out my listeners are, hopefully all over the world. But Greensboro, North Carolina, I go there and I get their deep tissue or hot stone massage. And let me tell you, it makes all of the difference. Shout out to my girl Maggie there. She is amazing. But yes, the hot stones, when they click, you know that, yes, not just physically feeling good, but it makes you mentally feel good as well. And we just recently talked about that. They go hand in hand. It clears your mind while at the same time relaxing your body. I think they are absolutely amazing. Definitely, definitely highly recommended for anyone. Self-care is a category that everyone falls in. That's young, that's old, man, woman. It's very important and it is for everyone. We almost at the end, y'all. We almost at the end. Lastly, we have self-motivation. This one is my favorite too. So all of them are my favorite. So self-motivation, which is the noun for self-motivate, and again, per Google, self-motivation is motivated to do or achieve something because of one's own enthusiasm or interest without needing pressure from others. Wow. Again, this is a very, very important one. I get up daily and I do what I do because I believe in me. That's basically what self motivation is. It's just Keisha loves and supports It's Just Keisha, period. Now, naturally, I do have my mother's support, who is hands down my number one fan, always, and my friends and other family. But I have to believe in me. You have to believe in you, honey. I have to motivate myself as you have to motivate yourself. My family, friends, co-workers, etc., they can give you advice and push you and encourage you to be the best version of yourself that you can be. But until you believe and until you push yourself, there will be no best version of you. There will be no progress, honey. Mm-mm. You have to know and you have to do regardless, whether you receive encouragement, whether you receive praise or anything. Now, obviously, having those amenities is very helpful, very, I would say, even important to a certain extent. But with self motivation, and that's quotation around self, you have to push and believe and encourage yourself, even if no one else does. You have to tell yourself and you have to believe it wholeheartedly, no matter what. So, again, self love, self care, self motivation. What does that mean to you? You have heard my little spiel on these topics, and you can send your responses, as always, to EETKS89 at gmail.com. That's E as in Edward, E as in Edward, T as in Tom, K as in King, S as in Sam, 89 at gmail.com, which stands for everything, even the kitchen sink. And let me know what these things mean to you. You can leave voice clips if you like. I can play them on my next show. Or you can just email me what you think and I'll read them. Simple as that. Now, my intentions are to post weekly on Mondays at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Eastern. But hopefully, I will get a great deal of email responses and I can reply back and do a little midweek show on, let's say, Thursday nights. How does that sound? Good, great, good, great. And again, I don't stress it enough. EETKS89 at gmail.com. Please let me know what you think about the show. How do you feel? Certain topics that you want to talk about. If there's something you want me to change on the show, anything. When I say it's everything, even the kitchen sink, I mean everything, even the kitchen sink. I am not an offended person. I'm open to discuss anything that you want to talk about. So please utilize the email EETKS89 at gmail.com. As always, a flower does not think of competing with the flower next to it. It just blooms. Go out there and bloom, y'all. This is everything, even the kitchen sink with It's Just Keisha. Until next time.